In this podcast, you get a real-life glimpse into a student's transformation. I take you into the actual coaching sessions, week by week, and you can see the student's progress in real time. So without further ado, here is AGL Live. It's still July 13th, and we pick up where we left off. Honeysuckle and I continue to talk about work and business and the future prospect of him making some money. He's been overly reliant on his parents throughout his childhood and throughout even his adulthood, so he's looking for alternative ways to be financially independent. We pick up from there.
Although I don't really have any results, I tend to have good times when I go out. I try to have them get loose, and help them break anxiety. And I don't know, some people get really thankful to me, and I've been really. Yeah, it kind of touched me, that I could, change. Maybe I could, help them come out of the same thing I was having.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important, too, is, being able to give back.
Yeah.
And there's a cycle to it.
Yeah, and that's one of the other motivations that I got for wanting to be better at game. Because, people don't really trust me too much right now because I don't really have any results. But if I got better at game, I feel like I could coach people later in life.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be really meaningful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If you're passionate about it and you just chronicle your journey and take stock of where you've been and everything, then I think that'd be definitely a viable path.
Yeah.
For me, when I first started coaching, most guys are way better than me. And I didn't really understand why I was a coach, but I was thankful for the opportunity.
Yeah.
So then I just took full advantage of it and would go out every night and then put my full effort into learning and teaching people.
Yeah.
And then over time, it's kind of a fake it till you make it situation for me, because then I was able to pick up on certain nuances that I observed over time.
Yeah, that too. More I coach them. I was trying to teach this guy he's this really big guy, really uncalibrated. So I was trying to teach him when to back off and when to put pressure on.
Yeah.
And as I as I watch him more, I got more in tune myself, noticing girls' reaction and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it creates a lot of awareness.
Yeah. It's really true. Teaching is the best way to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why my vision for mentorship and all that is to get guys to that level where they're teaching.
Yeah.
Where they're not just perpetual students.
Yeah.
I want them to be able to reciprocate this into the community.
But I just feel I just need more results under my belt, and maybe that's making me more result oriented. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if that's your aspiration, if you want to become a coach or whatever, and you feel the need to prove yourself, then that's also going to be it's going to be counterproductive. Because I went through that phase too. When I first became a coach, I barely had any results. I think I've been less than 10 girls. And I was like, why am I a coach? So I felt the constant need to prove myself.
Right.
And then what ends up happening is you try way too hard, then you have this ego thing, and every time you get rejected by a girl, or not necessarily rejected, but you don't get good reactions or whatever, then
your ego
you go into this downward spiral of emotional turmoil.
Similar episode to that last week.
Yeah, so then it's a weird balance that you have to strike.
Yeah.
Where it's you want to show people, but that's at the same time you can't be so attached to what you're trying to do. So but that's interesting though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much like, so how long have you been here for in Berkeley?
A month now.
Okay.
A little over a month.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And how's your roommate?
He's nice. No, we don't like talk that much.
Uh-huh.
We just like respect each other.
That's good.
He's like he doesn't like go out or anything.
Mm-hmm. And your family, like you have your mom and your dad, and who else? Like, do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have one sister, one younger sister, and like 2. Yeah, mom and dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like how we clarified the two parents. That's good. How old is your sister?
She's 2 years younger than me.
Okay. And what do your parents do?
Huh?
What do your parents do?
My mom's an elementary school teacher, and my dad's a investment banker.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad makes a lot of money. We're not like the top 1%, but like he made enough money so he could like pay for like fucking $50,000 a year Ivy education,
Mm-hmm.
like for 4 years. So
Yeah.
he made a lot of money, and my mom's like grandparents made a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So she has like a lot of inheritance.
Okay.
So Dave always told me like, don't worry about the money, just study.
Yeah. That was my parents told me too when I
Yeah.
was growing up.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was in high school and I asked them, should I get a job? And they're like,
Yeah, and they're like, just don't.
don't worry about it.
Just work.
Yeah, I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But then once I got to college, I had this like internal conflict. I'm like, I feel like I should be doing something towards my financial independence.
Yeah.
So I took this like custodian job when I was in college,
What is that?
like a janitor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I did that for a bit when I was in college.
Nice.
And then I'm pretty bad at holding jobs. I don't get fired, but I quit a lot, which I don't think it's a terrible thing necessarily. At first, I'm like, maybe I should be more committed to these jobs. But then I realized as I progressed to the next job and like got another job, I would learn more skills and also find out what I wanted.
Yeah, I don't think you necessarily want to stay in janitor job forever.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I guess in general, like I've had pretty decent jobs as well, where it's like, I think back in LA was one of my better jobs where I was teaching computer science to these kids for an after school program, and there's a lot of autonomy.
Yeah.
They let me like design a course for them, and I could teach them during the summer.
Yeah. Well, another thing that's been hindering me for getting a job is I'm not a citizen here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on this program called OPT, and I can only work in places that's my field related.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't work in like. So I was looking at this like website called Upworks. It's like a freelancing website.
Yeah, I'm on that one too.
Yeah, so I've been like trying to help if I could do any like data analysis for people, but then I couldn't do that because it's like getting hired.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think YouTube channel is like owning my own business.
Mm-hmm.
So the international office people said it might be okay.
Okay.
But yeah, but that's just another like hindrance, you know.
So what would you do with a YouTube channel?
I don't know. I've been just thinking about. I've been watching these videos.
Like the Jump Cut Academy?
No, you want to see it?
Yeah.
Oh, I also cut out porn in my life. That's
good.
Since I got here.
Yeah.
I watched this book called YouTube video of this guy who wrote Your Brain on Porn, and it was just so fucking like devastating. But I still masturbate.
What does the video talk about?
Yeah, I was trying to think.
Or the porn video?
Huh?
What does the porn thing talk about? Your brain on porn?
Oh yeah, so they talked about like how porn like hijacks your reward circulatory system, and it kind of creates this unrealistic expectation of meeting women.
Okay. Yeah.
So it will lead to like less. Like, it will lead to like libido or like being.
It's like lower.
Yeah. Just all sorts of bad shit. I don't know. It's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this website. You know the Simple Pickup?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this, those guys apparently made like tons of money doing YouTube channels other than Simple Pickup. And then, so he's been like releasing all these like promo videos.
Yeah.
Of how to make money.
Yeah, this is like the jump cut thing, or is it something different?
Jump cut?
Because I had their product. Oh yeah, it is Jump Cut. But yeah, I had their product, Jump Cut Academy, and basically they have a bunch of courses on like how to make money using YouTube.
What did you think about it?
It's like pretty interesting.
Is it practical?
Somewhat practical. I didn't implement any of it, so I don't know how practical it is. But one of the coaches in the mastermind group, Fergal, like he's really good at online marketing, like I was talking about. He's really good at SEO, which is search engine optimization. And basically what that means is like you make a website and then you can get certain keywords that people search for.
Yeah, is that like when you in the heading of HTML when you put like the meta stuff?
Yeah, so it has to do with that. You can change the meta descriptions and the headers and things like that. You insert certain keywords into your articles a certain number of times, and that affects the keyword densities, which helps the Google algorithms rank your keywords better.
Yeah.
But the way he teaches it is really, really simple, and I think it's a really viable marketing strategy. If you had something that you were interested in marketing, like for me, it was like kind of the pickup lifestyle development sort of niche.
Yeah.
Although for me, I wanted to stray away from just going like straight up pickup. Yeah. Just because.
No, I thought you had a really good touch.
Yeah. For me, it's like incongruent with the way I think now, because I did see some results from techniques and certain models and lines and things like that, but at the same time, it kind of fucked me up emotionally. And I had this weird like game identity sort of thing that I was
I think I definitely had that too during college life.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people go through it when they learn pickup stuff, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Like it's just a phase that people go through.
Yeah.
But then I also think that there's a better way to go about things that'll facilitate like a more sustainable progress. Yeah. But yeah, so Fergal basically taught us how to use SEO, and basically what you do is like write articles, put it on a website, make sure the keywords are all tight and everything like that, and then you'll start ranking. Also, like you guest post on other blogs, and then it drives traffic back to your website, and then your keywords start to rank.
I heard you have to I guess like social media is really big these days, right?
Yeah, you can do like Facebook ads. I'd say that's another really viable way of marketing. Because Gary Vee talks about like how Facebook ads are extremely cheap for the ROI that you get right now.
ROI?
Yeah, like return on investment.
Oh,
so it's like 25 to 30 cents per click on average.
Wow.
Or not click, maybe it's per click. But basically it's really cheap right now compared to like what you get in return. So, I mean, this stuff, I guess my overall point is that it's very possible to choose something that you're passionate about long term, and as long as you document it, then you can turn that into something that makes you money passively.
I've documented a lot about my life.
Yeah.
But nothing like, I don't really document like what I learned today or like.
Yeah, you don't really have to do that either, because I think you can glean a lot of lessons from it looking back retrospectively. So like did you document like your biking journey or whatever?
I have like fucking 100 gigabytes of GoPro footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
and I like journal every fucking day too, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's awesome. Like, I think people would be really invested in learning about something like that.
Right.
Especially since there's this like movement kind of back towards like the beat generation sort of thing, where a lot of people are doing this van life thing. They want some like independence, and they want to explore different cultures or whatever. They want to explore the country. I think it's a really popular thing. But I guess you can think about something. So I guess like I think a lot of, well, I don't know. Maybe I should just have you answer. Like, what are like the primary values in your life that you would define?
Science. It's like women. Not just like having a lot of women, but like having a girl that I like.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my type. Like being out in nature is really big for me.
Mm-hmm. I guess beyond what things you like to do, just like overall values.
Values?
Yeah, so
more like honesty, stuff like that?
Yeah, I guess honesty would be one. I
think it's just pretty cliche. Like, I mean,
I guess for me, like for an example, for me it's like freedom is a primary one.
Yeah,
like I want freedom in my life.
Freedom.
And time to do things, basically.
Yeah.
Like for me, that's like the number one thing is time.
Yeah.
Because money can be traded for time, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I would say the same.
Yeah.
I just want to have enough money to be like free. Like.
Yeah.
I don't need like a Ferrari or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you this book that I have too, and then it's a good starting point for if you want to learn about finance. But I think Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you had that book too, and you read that one, and
what is it called?
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Rich Dad.
So
I just like coached this dude. Like I was like, "Yo, you coming out this evening?" Not today. Sorry, I need to meet someone, and I would like to get some work done before then. Okay, good luck. And yeah, do the 5 sets as directions. Keep the bar low. Don't beat yourself up. I believe.
Mm.
Thanks, dude. Got a number.
Nice.
Just like stuff like this, just like makes me happy.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I do it too.
Yeah. Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think it'd be good to read that one too, and then I'll give you this other book. But it's not like you have to change your life completely to start only thinking about money or anything like that. But it'll just get you. It'll make you more open-minded to like how to make passive income or how to achieve financial independence. Yeah. Is the main point. Because actually, after I read this book, I ended up dropping out of grad school. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did you want to drop out?
Mostly because I felt like, for me, the academic path wasn't for me. Mm. There wasn't enough freedom with what I wanted to study. I felt like I was confined by, like having to ascribe by certain things, like certain, especially with philosophy or things like that, or behavioral economics.
Were you in economics?
What's that?
You were in economics?
Yeah. So I did research in econ when I was an undergrad.
Yeah.
And then when I went to grad school, I was interested in decision theory and rational choice theory. So basically, like...
Whoa, that's really cool.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of game theory stuff?
Yeah, it's basically game theory from a single person perspective. Like, games involve two or more people.
Right.
Decision theory and rational choice theory is an offshoot of that. It's like... it's kind of like psychology, but the foundations are microeconomics.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was interested.
I just saw Beautiful Mind the other
day.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That dude who like made
John Nash.
Yeah. Nash Equilibrium.
Yeah, that stuff is pretty interesting. But I kind of just wanted to study it on my own for my own enjoyment, and I didn't want to like dedicate my life to doing that.
Right.
And I felt like I also wanted to live some of it too, and I felt like coaching was for me like more of an actionable way to do that.
Right.
Because I learned.
Does your parents know
that I dropped out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that.
Yeah, so actually my mom was visiting me when I was in London. Like, it was during Christmas time. and we were staying at, do you know Shaolin? He was a student, but he has a flat in London, and he had this on his shelf. And I remember I was reading it, and I couldn't stop reading it, so I read it in like one night, and then the next morning I told my mom, I'm like, I'm going to drop out. And she's like, alright honey, like, you do whatever you want to do.
She said that?
Yeah, I mean, she just rolls with whatever that I want to do typically. Like, she trusts me a lot, she says, so. Because I made very radical decisions in my life. Like, I went to a Mormon school for undergrad, and then I moved to Vegas and became a promoter, and then went to London for grad school. Like, I've been all over the place.
That's awesome.
But yeah, she was just kind of like, you do whatever you want to do. Now, do you feel like your career choice, your path, is something that's coming from you, or is it something from an external source?
I mean, I feel like I myself is like influenced from other outward sources, so I don't really know like
it's hard to tell.
I am.
Yeah.
But just from like my thoughts, I've been doing this all my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's the path I should take.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know what else I would be doing. And I was really dedicated. So I've been like really involved in like environmental movements and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like all my life, like my mom would take me to these like environmental activism and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She's been like really involved in that. And so I had like this. I just always had like this. I feel like it was my calling to just kind of devote myself in like saving the environment and stuff. But I like just gaming and like learning about like self-development made me realize like it's not really necessary. Like you don't have to live your life for others. Another thing I really found like joyful like in middle school when I was in Korea was like math. So I got really into math by going to this. Do you know what hagwons are?
I don't think so.
It's like this Korean like academies, after school academies.
Okay, yeah, I have heard of it.
Yeah, it's like really notorious for like going till like midnight.
Yeah, it's like a tutoring thing where they study after school or something.
Yeah. Most of them are like fucking terrible. It's just like starting for standardized tests. But this one I went to, it was like a math academy, but it was like a debate-based math. So we would like solve math problems in teams, and then like we would like write it on the board, and then like other teams would like try to like pick out like the little mistakes, and we would like try to gain points from that. And it was just, like I just had a lot of fun doing that. So math has been like a really positive thing in my life. But then I kind of stopped when I went to college because I was also afraid because other people would be like so much better than me. So I didn't do it, and then like starting like late junior year, and then I started like dabbling with like applied math in conservation and like ecology, and that like really rang with me.
Yeah.
So I made a senior thesis with a modeling project, and like learned a lot about like modeling and computing in the senior year, and I just like really fell in love. And I also always felt like doing a lot of in like in ecological science, you have to do a lot of like field work.
Yeah.
So you have to go out and like collect data and like all that stuff. It's like really fucking routine. And I always thought like, gosh, it's like, why do I have to collect like fucking these like little swallowings every fucking day just so I could like publish this one little paper.
Yeah.
But then when I went to like mathematical ecology, I was able to like work with any kind of organism, and like just the amount of freedom that comes from like being theoretical instead of empirical.
Yeah.
Just made me like so much happier.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing right now, and I feel like really involved with it. So I kind of want to keep pursuing it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went through the same thing because my econ professor that I worked for, like he was really into like experimental microecon.
Yeah.
So we did these experiments where we went to schools and like, do you know Nudge? The
Nudge.
They talk about choice architecture, and basically what it is like changing people's default options. So it's like the reason why grocery stores are laid out the way they are is because of the impulse buying and all that.
Yeah.
So that's an example of choice architecture.
Okay.
And so like what we did was do that same thing with cafeterias at schools and try to redesign cafeterias so that we had fruits and vegetables be the impulse buy. So basically like we would put like a fruit on a child's tray as the default option.
Put fruit on a child's tray?
Yeah, so like, you know, if they're going through like a lunch line,
yeah,
usually they have to pick out the fruit. But if instead you automatically put the fruit on, then they're more likely to consume it, theoretically.
Okay. Yeah.
But they also waste more, so we also had to calculate the wastage rate and then see if it's viable as a policy option. But then I was kind of bored by it because I didn't like that experimental stuff. I just wanted to think about theoretical, like mathematical microecon. So then he put me on different projects instead.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely like more theoretical by nature.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely understand that switch.
Yeah.